Hello friends, welcome you all to another video, and today we are going to talk about literature as an expression of writer's personality. So in the previous videos we have seen that literature as an imitation, as a function of literature. Then we have seen that literature as an imagination, and now today we are going to see the literature as an expression of writer's personality. So let's get started. So first we are going to start with the Alexander Pope and his concept expressionism. So actually Alexander Pope was one of the classical poet, and he was the greatest poet in the Augustan era of neoclassicism. Or we can say that after John Dryden, Alexander Pope was the greatest poet, not only greatest poet but the greatest critic also. And actually the period from 1700 to 1744, after the death of John Dryden, he was died in 1700. So at his death, the restoration period was ended. Okay, actually neoclassical period started from 1660, but again the another period for another name for it as a restoration, it was ended with the death of John Dryden. And after that, the age is also known as Augustan age. Okay, you keep in your mind that neoclassical age started in 1660 and it lasted until 1798 when the Rirka ballads published. Okay, so it is a more than 140 years. Okay, but even though there are sub parts of that neoclassical period. First part is the restoration period, which started from 1660 and it ended in 1700 with the date of John Dryden. And after that, Augustan age started 1700 to 1745. Again, this Augustan age is also known as the age of Pope. So you can understand that how Pope was great as a poet and as a critic also. So he has written one book, Essay on Criticism. He has written a lot of poems. Okay, and his one poem is also included in our syllabus in paper number 4, that is the Rape of the Lock, and we are going to see it very soon. So actually it is in the next semester. So Pope has written one book, that is Essay on Criticism, and we can understood his views on that how literature is an expression of poet's personality. And he has written one phrase in his book, and we have to understood it. So what is that phrase? What is that sentence? So he has written here like that: what of was thought but never so well expressed. What often was thought but never so well expressed. So that is his phrase. So we have to analyze it, and in this way we are going to understand that what is, how literature is an expression of poet's personality. So according to Pope, the poetry should not merely the polished expression of well-known abstract truth. Okay, it should not be polished expressed. Okay, what is the polish here? Actually he wanted to tell. So here we can say that the poet used a lot of dictions, lot of different words, new words, okay, to illustrate, to explain, okay, to describe the event or the abstract truths. So he must have meant to include the verb express through the imaginative way. So here again, even though Alexander Pope believes in rules of classicism, even though he said that we should follow the classical people, but here again he said that verb expressed through the imaginative way. So he also agreed that the imaginative way is very important, in which the general truth are illustrated. So we must think about, we must express through the imaginative way in which the general truth are illustrated, because we have to illustrate, we have to describe, we have to explain, we have to picturize the general truth of human being. So in other words, expression must include plot as well as style. So you must understood this, that what actually Alexander Pope is saying. Alexander Pope is saying that expression must include plot as well as style, invention as well as diction. So all these four things are important in the expression, okay, in literature. What is important? Plot is important. Plot means what? Plot is the story. Okay. And what is style? Style means you must follow the style of the classical writers. Again, invention is very important. We should not blindly follow and blindly copy the classical writers, but we, through the imaginative way, we must invent something new should be there. And then again, the diction is also there. Okay, the different words, the beautiful words. Okay, imaginary words should be there. Imaginary words. Okay, so for Pope, good poet uses his reason and common sense, to both of which faculties he gives the name nature. Okay, so for poet, for Pope, a good poet uses his reason. A good poet uses his reason and common sense, to both of which faculties he gives the name nature. So actually, a poet should use the reason, and that is the nature. That is human nature. Okay, and or we can say the nature, that is nisarga. So to discover and behavior and profiting both by the example of ancient poets and his own observation. So actually, the ancient poets, they have not only discovered behavior of the nature, but they have imitated it exactly in an innovative way, in an imaginative way, in an expressive way. So they have expressed, their expression are exact, and therefore what actually the poet wants here, that the new poet should follow the ancient poet, but they should not blindly follow the ancient poet, but they also discover the nature, they should discover the behavior of the human nature as ancient poets have done through their observation. So in this way, new poet also do the same, and therefore new poet should proceed to illustrate those truths in as polished, witty, and generally delightful a way as possible. So actually, how a poet should do that? So poet should follow strictly all these things which the ancient poets have done, but again he should illustrate those truths in as polished and witty and generally delightful way as possible, because after reading his poem, a reader should be delighted, he should get the pleasure, because the pleasure is the one of the, or we can say that the last function of literature, to give pleasure. Okay, so we have seen that John Dryden also agreed with that, that one what is the aim of the literature or poem? To give pleasure. We have seen in the romantic views also, both the Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge has agreed that what is the function of literature? To give pleasure is the function of literature. So therefore, Alexander Pope is also tracing on that, and further he said that it should involve a story or a satire or whether, but it will be included in the expression. So therefore, expression should be a story, there should be satire, whatever it may be, whatever literary genre a poet should choose, but there should be expression. So what is the expression? Here Alexander Pope has here given the example. So hey guys, I thought that I should go with the only single critics. So therefore, I have covered this Alexander Pope. In the next lecture, I am going to cover T.S. Eliot's views on expression and how he opposed these, that how literature is not the expression of poet's personality. It was Aristotle's views, and we are going to see it in the next video. And the third video will be about the Hudson, that Hudson has proved that how literature is an expression of poet's personality. So this topic will be divided into 3 parts. So here I have completed the first part with the Alexander Pope's expression theory. So if you don't understand it, please write down in the comment section, I will explain it. So thank you for watching.